Hi everybody. So I'm here again, but not to talk about narcissism. I'm here to to promote two channels. And one of them is a a channel dedicated to nootropics, and another one is a channel that's dedicated to suicide awareness and mental health discussions and basically to mental health. And the reason why I want to talk about these channels is because, in my opinion, it would be selfish not to. I know how it feels like to be a victim of your own mind, not being able to override emotions that are not wanted. And I feel like I've stumbled upon something that can change people's lives in a very, very fast way without them having to struggle in the way that they are right now. And it would be very selfish of me not to break my vow to not be here for a year, because I know that if I tell this to people now in the year, they can be healed in a very profound way. And so the first channel is Nootropics Expert, and the founder of the channel, his name is David Tomin. And for those of you that have been following me, you know that I've promoted Timothy Marshall, who's an absolute pioneer of lithium treatment. I still recommend that you get his book. I still recommend that you look into his work, because he treats war veterans, with mineral supplements and nutrition, which is, it sounds like it's a meek way of dealing with mental health issues. But in my opinion, there's a lot of truth to the idea that Big Pharma and even the mental health industry, the psychiatrists and the psychologists that treat people with disorders like post-traumatic stress disorder, they have a tendency to draw the discussion out to make people believe that this is a disorder that they have to cope with for the rest of their lives, that there's no way to rewire the brain, that there's no way to change the chemistry of the brain in such a way that the disorder becomes a less prominent part of their lives. And the reason, of course, is money. If you can convince people that, something like narcissism has profoundly altered the chemistry of their brain, and no matter what they do, this will be a part of them forever, then you could sell more books. Then you can convince people that talk therapy is the only way to get out of this. But the truth is that your brain controls everything, and if you can alter the chemistry of your brain by taking certain over-the-counter nootropics that are not patented, that are not cash cows, that corporations cannot make money off of, then Big Pharma and the psychologists and psychiatrists that treat these disorders that don't really have an answer for people with PTSD, because It's an all-consuming memory is what it is. You know, it's worth it to try alternative treatments, and they've worked for me. So I want to put this out there, okay? A lot of this conjecture about how trauma is enduring, trauma is not treatable, it comes from old notions of how the brain operates, and it was thought for very many years, up until the 80s and 90s, that neuronal death happened after the age of 20, and that your brain loses neurons. Your brain is plastic, meaning that if it undergoes any sort of trauma, it cannot be rewired. And this kind of old paradigm of the brain being stuck in one place and neurons not being able to form new connections, that led people to formulate these ideas about trauma and childhood trauma, and the idea that if a person stays in a neurotoxic environment for 20 plus years, they cannot change their brain for the better, that these memories are going to creep up on them continually. And recent research has shown that that's not true, that we can form new synaptic connections, that once you remove yourself from the source and go no contact with sociopathic narcissists and understand who they are, you can surround yourself with neuropositive environment, and you can create an environment in your brain that will strengthen your prefrontal cortex's ability to intervene when your amygdala is going haywire, when your amygdala wants to flee or fight the situation. Because what you have to understand is that the narcissists in your life have programmed your brain to be dependent on the amygdala, to operate from the areas of the brain that are responsible for phobias, for avoiding stressful situations, for trying to fight stressful situations, for reacting as though you are in imminent danger of something bad happening. And that's why you feel depressed, and that's why you feel depleted, and that's why your stress hormones are off the chain. It's because your prefrontal cortex is offline. And the main question that this community should be asking is, how can we get our prefrontal cortex online so that people don't have to suffer? Okay, that's my objective. I don't want people to suffer, to think about narcissists, to think about how their lives are ruined and how they have to live with these memories for the rest of their life. And a lot of well-meaning gurus in this community do not emphasize that enough. Perhaps it's because they want you to continue to buy their books. Perhaps it's because they legitimately feel that your brain cannot be rewired. Perhaps it's because they haven't read enough about nootropics. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm telling you that I've been on these supplements for 2 months now. I've added to my regimen, and I think less and less of these things, and this whole topic has become like a footnote in my life rather than being the primary chapter that takes up all my attention. I'm able to refocus my energies, and that's really the goal. Because if you can get your energy to be refocused on other things, then you can undo the damage that's been done. You can live a better life, and you can basically put them in their place, because they are waiting for you to live a life that's filled with paranoia and fear and confrontation with them, and an inability to believe that people love you. All of these social anxiety, that's what they like, guys. You have to realize. And I'm here to offer something better than that, because I'm a person that didn't have a choice, that needed to address my health, my mental health, because of the neurotoxic environment that surrounded me for many years. And I'm saying that it is possible, okay, to make this not such a prominent part in your life. And a lot of you are grieving it, but it gets to the point where you're sick and tired. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're sick and tired of people telling you to get over it, and you're sick and tired of not participating in the world. You know, that's the bottom line. And this channel is for those people that think that these people don't deserve an audience anymore in your life. That they're a memory that you can access if you want to, but they are not no longer the facilitators of your life. They are no longer people that are important. And with that, I want to recommend Nootropics Expert. I'm going to post a link below. And this is a channel that was founded by David Tomin, who himself suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and ADHD, and later on in his life was able to reverse the symptomatology of PTSD and ADHD by taking nootropic supplements. And again, I'm not getting any sort of money from promoting these things. I don't have a huge following and a huge base of people that are watching my channel. It's strictly because I don't want to see people suffer anymore. I don't want to see good people that have given their heart to sociopaths for one reason or the other think that they don't have any more value than this experience. To think that they are in any way less than people that haven't fallen for this experience. I want them to live the fullest life possible, and I want you to live the fullest life possible. I'm not here to get you to watch my channel forever and ever and ever and depend on my message. I'm here to give you the tools to change your life. The way that I've been able to change mine by listening to people like Timothy Marshall and David Tomin. And so because they can describe the effects of these supplements better than I can, I'm going to put the links to the videos that talk about the supplements below so you can reference them. And again, I haven't tried all of the supplements that are for anxiety and PTSD. So if you want to experiment, and if you want to go to your doctor and see which ones interact with your medication, which ones may be dangerous when taken with medication, then go ahead. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a clinician, I'm just going off of what worked best for me. So the first supplement is Nootropics. This is my regimen. The second supplement is Kava. Gotta love it when you're unprepared for these videos. The third supplement is magnesium glycinate. Lithium Orotate. ashwagandha. And lion's mane. I take these every day, and the more I take them, the less and less and less I need to access narcissism, think about it, recollect, and the more distant the memory becomes, and the more it becomes a footnote that I can just retrieve, look at, and then put away, which is what I want for all of you. So, kisses.